Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today we've got a variant of the LKK archetype, not the Let's Kill Krillin, but the Let's Kaio-Ken. This 7-drop Kaio-Ken Goku has a lot of finishing power, and I think it's really cool, and just the amount of power it has. And honestly, I feel like it's mitigated by it's the condition you have to get to there. Having 20 or more red or green cards in your drop area is kind of a hefty cost, and at least kind of makes you think about how to play it and build the deck. So there's that. But let's go into this. So we've got our green Clash of Fates Goku, probably one of the best leaders for getting cards in our drop because it is a auto burst 3. When this card attacks, you may choose one green card in your hand, place in your drop area. If you do, draw 2, and then awaken when your life is at 4 or less. You may choose 2 cards in your energies, flip them to active mode, and or switch them to active mode and flip this card over. I think this is just a fantastic leader in so many ways, especially like when you consider multicolor cards, because the fact that this can pitch, dead cards in our hand. All the multicolor cards are, they're 10k, so they're kind of hard to get rid of. But the fact that you can just pitch them for free because they, are they're green, they're half green, so they count, just helps with the deck a lot, and just helps the cycle and really the consistency. So fantastic there, and deep cycling there. And then also on the Awaken side, auto sparking 5. When this card attacks, draw 1. If a Krillin is in your drop area, this card gets plus 5k power and double strike for duration of the turn. So just really good for kind of poking down our opponent. We want them at 3 life because this has triple strike, and then and go off from there. So that can help us get there, and just a really good Awaken leader, I guess, as long as you're not running over them, right? So just great there. And so let's kind of go into like the base of the Let's Go Krillin archetype. So it's 3 of this Krillin calling for help. So permanent, if your leader card is a green Son Goku and it's flipped to its back, increase the energy cost of increase this card's energy cost by 3 in all areas, and this card gains blocker. And then also auto, when you play this card, draw 1. So just really good for playing this and maybe something else for 1 energy. Then awaken your leader. So then you have 2. You take that 2 energy back, and then you have this 4-drop Krillin that our final showdown Son Goku can proc off of. So there's that. We also have just the regular persistent assault Krillin. So barrier, when you play this card, draw 1 card. So if your leader card is a green or black leader, then this card's in rest mode, your opponent can't attack your leader card, so it's a deadly defender. Just really great for kind of defensive plays. Just being have this, sit out there and kind of pressure your opponent, like, hey, you kind of have to summon something. Have to hit something into this, and then I get, my Goku for free, so that's something to think about. And then we're also running 4 of the Fletching Deuce and Gohans. I'm not really sure if he belongs in this deck right now, but there's some synergy with him and this, Son Goku and Piccolo budding friendship, and the fact that if we need to be kind of like proactive and get this out as soon as we can, we have that option. So this is kind of a flex card. If you don't think it works out for you, I think this is one of the first cards that can go, but it does have some nice synergies. And then after that, we've got our 5-drop Final Showdown Son Goku. So double strike when a Krillin card with energy cost of 4 or more is in your battle area is KO'd by your opponent. If your leader card is green or black, play this card from your hand. You can't play Final Showdown Son Goku for duration of the turn. And when you play this card from your hand, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and KO it. So just the fact that you're able to KO something, regardless of anything, is fantastic. As long as this doesn't get like Cold Bloodlust or Frost Deadly Poison, this is just a fantastic thing, and can really apply some pressure on your opponent. So, and just really, it makes all your Krillins on your board just that extra step scary. So that's also something to consider. So that's the main archetype there. And so what else do we have here? So even though this is great at kind of pressuring your opponent, it's not necessarily a fantastic win condition. So we've got this Kaio-Ken Son Goku, and this is what a lot of people were asking for a deck for. So I felt like this Son Goku leader was the best for it, and I honestly just like this archetype with. I feel like the Let's Go Krillin archetype makes a lot of sense in this leader, just the way it works and all that. So that's how that kind of came around, but. If you don't know what this does, it has Deflect. Permanent, if there are 20 or more red or green cards in your drop area, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So that means it becomes a, It becomes a 5-drop with 3 specific green and 2 specific red. That 2 specific red is important, so you have to make sure that usually turn 1 you charge a multicolor card, and then somewhere later you charge a Broly Demonic Origins. That way you have 2 reds, and then the rest can be green, so that's something to consider there. But also, so you play this card auto when your life reaches 1 for duration of the turn. This card gains triple strike and dual attack and can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills. And also, active main, choose 1 card in your life, add it to your hand. Your opponent reveals their hand. You choose up to 1 card from their hand, place it in their drop area, and this card gets plus 25k power for duration of the turn. So this is just fantastic in so many ways. Just being able to plop down this big guy, give it dual attack and triple strike, and just also being able to demolish your opponent's hand while also getting down to 1 life. If you're trying to go in, it doesn't matter what your life total is as long as it's not 0. So this is a great way to kind of get there, and just a fantastic win condition. So with this leader, we're really able to do 2 things in this Let's Kill Krillin. We're able to amass a really big drop area while also kind of controlling our opponent. So we can have like really high life potential, because like the more life we have, the better. Additionally, there's just a lot of we don't really have to even awaken until we go off. So being able to kind of stall with this archetype, I think, helps out a bunch. So that's those main cards. Let's kind of go into the cards we added for fun. So we're running red green just because I feel like it's multicolor is fantastic for control. If you haven't noticed, I put a lot of multicolor stuff in stuff right now. But so we've got Broly Demonic Origins. This is just, I kind of already went through it. It's great for kind of just making sure we have red energy for our stuff without messing up our green energy. And when you play this card from your hand, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in their drop area. Not as big of a thing. I don't think we'd ever really summon this, but it's just good for fixing our energy. We're also running 4 Son Goku and Piccolo, Budding Friendship. So Alliance, red green. This card gains power equal to the total power of the card switched to rest mode by this card for duration of the battle. If you switch to Son Gohan Youth card to rest mode, this card using this card's skill, draw 2, and this card gains critical for duration of the battle. So just being able to put some pressure and just get a lot of card advantage, really. If we have like this fledgling duo Son Gohan out and we don't know what to do with it after we summon a Krillin, this is a fantastic way to say, oh, let's just plop this down and then turn it into a draw 2, because this is still a Son Gohan Youth, and that just helps out there. So just a little synergy there. We just need some more multicolor cards too, so that's why these there. This can probably go down a little bit. We just want to make sure. In general, I feel like 7 multicolor cards, or 7 or 8, is the like minimum you need. We're running 11, but mostly because we need to make sure that we get 1 of these, and since we burst, it can be kind of dangerous without 1, and since we also just discard a card from our leader, we're kind of safer to run these because we can pitch these pretty easily. Alright, so there's that. So since we're running these multicolor cards, we're running 3 Vegeta the Cruel. So it's a counterplay. It's a 2 cost. So when you play this card during your opponent's turn, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards. The energy costs 4 or less and KO it. Then your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand, sends it to their warp. So that can be fantastic. Just controlling the board and making sure like turns 2 and 3, nothing really happens. And then we also have Mach Speed Kaio-Ken Son Goku, just to make sure that there's just for a little bit more flexibility. There's a couple of situations where this is better than Vegeta the Cruel, and so we have him there for that. Let's see, and then we're also running 2 of the Broly Unforeseen Force. So when you play this card from your hand, activate the skill. At the end of this turn, if there's a card that is both red and green in your energy, draw 2, choose 1 card in your hand, place in your drop area, then choose any number of your opponent's battle cards with a total cost of 3 or less and KO them. So this is fantastic for just kind of clearing stuff. Ironic, like one of the archetypes that can be kind of tricky for this can be like the like Zamasu, just because it makes so many blockers, and that can be like one of the rare ways that this card loses. So that's fantastic for that, just being able to do that. And he also cycles. He puts a card in your drop area and all that. So I think he's a good compromise, and so we're running 2 of him. We're also running 2 Urgent Aid Kami, just for 1 drop that draws, but also it can, if we're playing as something that's really fast or aggro, this can be helpful for stopping down like Sensu Bean taps for aggression in that. We're running 4 Tenacious Spirits and Gohan, so this is more fodder for our Budding Friendship, but also when you play this card, draw 1, and then for 2 green energy, this card gains plus 15k power and critical for duration of the turn. So that just helps out us being able to kind of put pressure, but it's a Gohan that this can tap. So for 3 energy, we can do this little combo. So nothing too fancy there, but just more help there. We're running 2 for the greater good, just because we're able to discard this from our hand from our leader ability once again, and it's not dead in drop area, so I feel like this can be helpful in just kind of dropping a card without actually having to drop a card, to kind of maintain like a pseudo hand advantage. So if you don't know how this card works, if this card's in your drop area, you activate it by paying its energy cost and removing 1 green card from your hand, and 1 green card in your hand from the game. And when you activate this card, you can't activate for the greater good for the duration of the turn. So you only get 1, but also if your leader card is green, negate the attack, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards at any cost of 1 and KO it. So like even for like early aggression, you can just play this, and then you can like pop like a 1-drop Goku or something. So a little bit help there, but just some helpful negates. We're running 2 preemptive strikes just in case we're playing against something that really, like, Height of Mastery. None of our other counter plays can really interact with this, but preemptive strike can just say, hey, just put that right back in your hand. So that can help out and make sure we get to our Krillin turn, where Krillin can obviously help out with destroying that Broly, the Height of Mastery target. So just combos like that where we need to just get rid of it. Once again, worst case, we can just drop it from our hand if it's dead. So and I definitely would run more of these in the side. I think 2 in the main's fine, and I think that's all the cards we've got. Oh, so 4 Shocking Death Ball, pretty obvious. We're gonna have, this is gonna be live on like turn 1 or 2, which is great. And just being able to blow up 2 drops that when your opponent isn't really thinking about sparking negates can help out. And we're also running 4 Paragus. I had a lot of thoughts about what the best super combo can be, and so it's pretty much either Paragus or there's really 4 super combos I would consider. If you're playing more defensively and you don't want to awaken, then he can just be a really dead card in hand. But some other ones to consider: Ever Dependable Bulma. So the reason I like Paragus so much is because there's so many cards that can be dead in hand that you can kind of pitch 1 to draw 2. So that can just help you kind of get a better hand. Instead of having getting 1 new card, you get kind of 2 new cards that are probably not dead, or can't be as dead as the card you drop. So that could be helpful. Bulma, I think, is a good compromise if you're trying to be more control heavy, just because this is it's still 10k, but it's based off of 5 or less life. So there's that. And also defensive stance, Super Saiyan Vegeta can be active on turn 1, which is great. So this is another option for you. I'd say probably defensive stance might be better than Paragus. I'm not sure. I'd say you should try it out and see which one you like the most. But that's probably like a really flexible part of this deck. I don't think Paragus is by and large the best super combo. I think there's some margin for other ones. So other than that, I think that's the whole deck. So let me know what you guys think. This is just a fantastic way to just kind of control the board, kind of ping away at our opponent. We should be attacking with this every turn, so there's some help there. And just kind of while stifling their plays. Just the fact I think this meta is really based on having a strong leader. And this is, I feel like this Green Sun Goku can kind of carry the game by himself, and so building a deck around him just makes a lot of sense. So that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you guys think about this deck, and I'll catch you all next time.